John, we've served 6 people. You ready to get your ticket?
Let's do it.
All right.
You're going to decide to violate the food service food ordinance. Officer Rand is going to issue the citation.
All right, Mr. Log. It'll be 1400 Lubbock, court number 3, 6 o'clock on the 9th of January. Okay.
Right, day after my birthday. Yay.
Conduct a food service event with Douglas in the parking. Right.
My name is John. I'm a volunteer with Food Not Bombs. This is our 82nd ticket we've received for feeding the homeless and serving people that are hungry. We just need your help to help get the word out and let people know what's going on over here. And if you want to come, if you're in the Houston area and you want to volunteer, you can come here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday on the corner of Smith and
McKinney.
There you go. Smith McKinney at 7:30 p.m. Sharp.
It's funny. Me and Angelina was just talking about this about 2, 3 days ago. The fact that in many major cities, we were just talking about Atlanta, how you cannot feed the homeless. You can't just pull up and feed the homeless in Atlanta anymore. And this has been going on since 2017, that you couldn't do it. That actually they started enforcing it in 2017 in Atlanta. I saw this video and then I went and did some research and I realized that there are many cities that you cannot do this in. You can't do it in Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, New York, Miami, Malibu, LA. No, it didn't say LA. But there are just so many cities, Chicago, St. Louis, that you cannot feed the homeless in the same manner that we've been doing it in the past. And my first reaction to when I first experienced this back in 2018 is I was upset. I was like, well, why can't we feed the homeless? I mean, why is the city cracking down? I thought, okay, this is one of those, it's because of regentification. And I still think it somewhat has to do with regentification because the area in Atlanta where it was a hub for feeding the homeless, they've gentrified the hell out of that area. It's now condo buildings are there right now. And I thought that it was primarily for that cause, for that reason. And many people are going to be upset about this. Many of you are already ready to type that how pissed off you are and this is so wrong and the government is wrong and all this sort of thing. But then I thought about it. And y'all might get mad at me. But I'm actually in agreement with this law. Not that I don't want people to be able to feed the homeless. But when you go and you actually look at it and research it, you just have to go get a permit. And there are many pastors and other organizations that are saying that the money that we spend on a permit could be spent on food for the homeless people. And you do have a valid point with that one. But what the cities are citing is health code violations and health code rules. All they're saying is come get a permit so that we can inspect your situation that you're trying to feed the homeless. You need to have a running source of hot water. You need to have a method of sterilizing your utensils, and they have to be able to test the food quality. This actually is protecting homeless people from being fed food that may be contaminated, being fed food that could get contaminated in the process. I used to think that it was so wrong, like when companies like Publix grocery store, I found out the Publix that was across from me when I lived downtown, that they throw away tons of food every day out of their bakery and out of their hot kitchen. And I thought that why don't they just give that to the homeless? Well, they stopped doing it because the company had got sued by a whole bunch of homeless people over time because they got sick after consuming the food. They even have to lock their dumpsters, put padlocks on their dumpsters in Atlanta to make sure that they aren't sued. But they were being sued. And so they stopped doing it. I understand that. But it is a lot of food going to waste. It's a lot going to waste. So what I would say to people is that if you truly have a desire to feed the homeless, then just do it the right way. Do it in such a way that I do think is good. Being a person who owned a food service business and understands that when you go through Safe Serve and you see that a lot of these restaurants, a lot of these people who are supposed to be professionals have their kitchens and their refrigerations and everything set up where bacteria is passed around left and right, where contamination happens. If I go to a restaurant and they got less than a 92, I won't eat there. I won't eat there because if you're less than 92, then that means that you have some type of contamination that has happened in your refrigeration, or you got too much bacteria on your countertops or something like that. But you've had some type of cross contamination or contamination. So you got to have a 94, 96, 98, 100, something like that in order for me to eat at your restaurant. And I didn't know that until I actually got into the food service industry and had to go do the safe serve, and then have to make sure that my popcorn shops and ice cream shop was set up the right way. So with that, all I'm saying is, yeah, you might have to spend some more money on the permitting. You might have to get you a hot water tank and all that sort of thing. But at least you're protecting the very same homeless people that you're trying to feed. And I would hate for people to be in their homes cooking food. It's not sanitary, and then they go out and they feed the homeless people and get those people sick. Because if you know it or not, like Atlanta has a task force, and their job is to go around and find homeless people who have passed away, and those people are suffering enough. They don't need to suffer anymore because people are serving them contaminated food. So y'all have a great day. And remember always, you got to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.